I'm joking to cope. I'm joking to fucking cope. Things are, I would say, at their worst they have ever been so far. And we're not even, like, at the end yet, you know? Like, I still got, let me count up. I still have 6 more achievements to get. Now, one of those will be for probably completing some kind of bonus post-game thing. One of them will be for reading all the tips. That means there's still, like, 4 more Steam achievements, which really tells me just how much longer there still is for things to go horribly, horribly fucking wrong here. I mean, like, chapter jump-wise. Yeah. Holy shit, day 10 was split into 4 parts. But I think I've got 1 more in me for today. I think I can maybe do another chapter. I'm gonna give it a go. So we'll hit the continue. We need to find the children that are missing, okay? And also, we need to figure out what the fuck's going on with Mion, because Mion's acting weird. Maybe it's just stress. Maybe it's the stress of recent events is getting to her, and she's getting a little bit unfiltered and a little bit wacky. I don't know. We don't even know if Sonozaki has been targeted yet or not. You know? Like, has the sort of older, Oryu, I think her name is, has she gone missing? I don't think she has, because we have an indication from Mion on that phone call. Unless Mion's lying, of course. But that would be a bold lie, because Mion did say, I can put her on the phone. If Kimiyoshi had said, yeah, okay, put her on, then, you know, that'd be that. That'd be the end of the lie. I just hope that everyone is in the fucking torture warehouse, okay? We don't need that. The children don't need to be in the torture warehouse being tortured. I don't want that to be the case. I really, really don't. I'm gonna be struggling so fucking much. And I should have known what I set it up for. I should have known. I'm playing fucking Higurashi When They Cry. I think child torture was never really off the fucking cards, but, you know. I still have to hope it won't happen. Oh, God, we need to begin. I saw a ceiling I was familiar with. Though I was groggy from sleep, I did notice that I was in my futon like I was every morning. I looked at my clock. And despite having turned in so late last night, I had awoken at precisely the same moment I always did. I'm so low on sleep, but I guess you really can get up at the same time every day. The secrets of the human body never cease to amaze me. That's a fucking secret that seems to have been kept from me. Although, actually, I mean, like, I'm not exact with it, but I will naturally wake up around my work time, I think, even on days off. Sometimes. Sometimes I will, not always. Weird. If I went back to sleep like this, I would definitely not be waking up again. I spurred myself on and flipped out of my futon. Mum asked me about last night at breakfast. Apparently, we too had got on a call asking if we knew where Rika-chan and Satoko were. And Mum vaguely understood that something serious was happening. So then, you were out late last night with all your friends looking for them? Until about 3, I think. Yeah. Did you find them? Rika-chan and Satoko-chan, I mean. Crunch. I wearily bit into my toast. It really didn't have any taste. Oh, not this shit again, man. Just then, we heard the chime go ding-dong. I looked up at the clock and saw that it was about 5 minutes past my regular meeting time with Rena. It was her at the door. Good morning. Did you get any sleep? Did you? I think I slept for a few hours. You could probably count them on a chicken's toes, though. Rena seemed pretty sleep-deprived as well. There was something missing from her usual spirit. Are you going to school? Yeah. I think it will be better that way, she said, smiling, albeit stiffly. Rena was probably worrying her heart out about those two as well. Even so, she wanted to go to school. If you stay home today, I think you'd just be worrying non-stop and sleeping. I don't want that. So, let's go to school together. Alright. Wait just a moment. I'll get ready. I was just a little bit happy about Rena mustering that much consideration for me. We went to the place where we'd usually meet up with Mion, but she was nowhere to be found. We were a little bit late today, so we thought she'd be waiting for us. I guess Mi-chan couldn't wake up today, huh? That's right. For her, it wasn't just yesterday. She was up all night looking for the mayor the night before last, too. We waited for a bit. Time passed, until it got to the point where it was okay for us to go on alone, and we exchanged glances. What do we do? Wait a little longer? At that point, my brain, which had finally been woken up by the morning air, recalled the ominous words Ooishi-san had left me with last night. The leaders of the three families were disappearing one after the other. And next, it might be Sonozaki's leader. Could Mion have... No, that couldn't be. Let's go. Let's let her sleep for today. Rena gave me a pat on the back. Mion. She's still here, right? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself. Let's get moving. The two of us headed to school by ourselves. On the way, we saw a bunch of classmates accompanied by their parents. It even looked like some of them were being taken to school by car. Surprisingly, the principal was also standing watch at the school gate. I'd never seen that before. Good morning. Good morning. The principal was bowing to our classmates' guardians. The wooden sword leaning next to him was a little ominous. Maibara-kun, good morning. Ryugu-kun, good morning. Good morning. Your teacher has something important to say, so head straight to the classroom. Alright? Rena and I said nothing. The madness that only existed at night had finally crawled out into the sunlight. That's what it felt like. It's gonna feel so quiet at school today. Rika and Satoko not here. Mion probably not here. Shay's gonna be like, I have a very important announcement regarding recent events. Someone didn't fucking water my curry plant garden. And there will be hell to pay. I mean, good morning, everyone. The hushed conversations that had been spreading for a while now all disappeared like an illusion the moment our teacher walked in the door. Silence dominated the classroom. The principal came in with our teacher as well. This was clearly not a normal morning. First, the principal has something important to tell everyone. Go ahead, Mr. Principal. The principal cleared his throat and approached the dais. Dais? Oh, a raised platform at the front of a room or hall. How do I pronounce that? One moment.
Dais.
Dais. Oh my god, I got that completely wrong. Good gravy. He approached a dais. I'm sure some of you already know this. The classroom was dead silent. Everyone was staring at Rika-chan and Satoko's empty seats. The principal briefly and simply declared that Rika-chan and Satoko had gone missing. There wasn't a single person in the classroom who didn't already know. There seemed to be many, however, who couldn't accept it as the truth. It had been confirmed to them now by the principal's words. There were sobs throughout the classroom, and I heard a kid crying. They steadily spread throughout the whole room. The big-hearted principal wasn't able to keep his cool either. Okay, everyone, pay attention. From today on, your parents or guardians will be taking you to school. For those of you whose parents can't do so, you'll be coming here in groups. I made a handout, so read it carefully and be sure to show it to your parents. Understand? The teacher's voice was a little abrasive. Not even she could conceal the strain she felt from this unprecedented, abnormal situation. They should have just cancelled school today. However, Rena told me that the school was also like a nursery for the students whose parents both worked. So some of them wouldn't want school to be cancelled. Well then, let's begin the lesson. Class president. She's absent, I see. Then, whoever is on day duty, let me hear it. All rise. That feeling of wanting to maintain an everyday atmosphere, even if only in school, precisely because our lives had been messed up. Something I agreed with at this point. I hate this. This is the worst. As for the teacher, who always had her lunch in the staff lounge, she ate in the classroom today. I had to laugh at her curry bento, which was just a rumour until now, but there was nobody to laugh with me. Rena brought her chair and lunch over to my seat. Today, it was only the two of us. The fact that we didn't need to drag any other desks over was sad. I'm sleepy. Yeah. I don't feel like sleeping anymore, though. In fact, I'm jealous of the people that could sleep at a time like this. They've got nerves of steel. You're right. I was sleepy this morning, but my drowsiness had dissipated after coming to school and constantly feeling the incredible tension. Rena's bento box didn't have its usual luster. That was to be expected. Rena was up for a long time last night too. She wouldn't have had time to make her lunch beforehand, since it's not like she would have gotten up early this morning. Grab anything you want. Go ahead. You can admit that my bento is better today. Okay, then I'll have some. Whoa, a chikua roll with burrito and cheese? That's interesting. Rena, yours might have ready-made food in it, but it's pretty good too. I realised the two of us were desperately trying to brighten the afternoon mood to its usual level as much as we could. I looked around the classroom, and it seemed like we were the only ones trying to do so, surrounded as we were by gloominess. Just the two of us, sharing our lunches like this. It's sort of like something. Our laughter grew quieter. I was the first one to mess up. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. It's not your fault. Our chopsticks both stopped moving. We couldn't keep it up anymore. Rika-chan. Satoko. I wonder where they went. Those words might have sounded too miserable. Everyone was thinking it, using roundabout ways to address the topic, but I came right out and said it. I heard Rena catch her breath. Yesterday, while you were gone, I heard a bunch of things, so I'll tell you what I know, okay? Sorry again about last night. Go ahead. At that time, since they had arrived for support, Rena was helping the Ladies' Society cook the miso soup we'd had. They reported all the information the villagers had gathered, and Rena said she overheard it. They didn't know anything important though, did they? Rika-chan and Satoko went home after school, then apparently went somewhere on their bikes, but other than that, Mion had told me yesterday, we had no clues. Yeah. The police also said that they probably went out on their bikes to go play somewhere as soon as they got home. If they were going out to play somewhere on their bikes right after getting home, then they might have gone into town. So I guess they concluded they disappeared while in Okinomiya. The police were saying how they were going to expand their search to Okinomiya in the morning. in town. It'd make sense why we couldn't find them even though we searched all of Hinamazawa then. Still, something didn't fit. I had no basis for thinking that, just a gut feeling. Why would they go to Okinomiya? What reason would they have for that? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I revealed something to Rika-chan that was likely very important to her that day. Then Rika-chan had told me to leave it to her. And then, what did she say? Oh, right. If she didn't work hard, then something bad might happen to the dog too, I think. With all the talks of dogs and cats, I still didn't have the faintest idea what she really meant, but it might have been Rika-chan's way of saying this was a race against time. So why did she go to Okinomiya? Was that part of it? Did she go there for that reason? Damn it! I'd selfishly pushed my anxiety on Rika-chan and tried to run away. It's a tricky one, Keiichi. She did say, you need to not think about it. And we were right. We weren't right necessarily, but it was understandable that we would trust it because she was so knowledgeable. She had an air about it. It was like, we need to listen to what she says. But I thought about it. I shouldn't have run back then. I should have asked her more about the dogs and cats. The more I think back on it, I really screwed up. Anyway, I don't think Rika-chan was in a situation where she would just go off to play somewhere. Of course, I didn't have any evidence or conviction to base that upon. It was just a hunch. I don't think she'd go into town. You think so too, Keiichi-kun? I agree. Rika-chan and Satoko-chan must have disappeared in Hinamazawa. I looked back at Rena, startled. I could hear the conviction in those words. Without replying to my gaze, she took her bento box and went to the hallway. I'm going to go rinse this out. She timed that in a way that broke off the conversation. Suddenly I got the feeling that the next thing she had to say would be hard to say aloud in a classroom. I hurriedly grabbed my bento box and followed her. Rena didn't go to the kitchenette, but rather the water fountains out back, where students seldom went. The water flowed down onto our bento boxes. During that time, Rena didn't say a word. Then, after making sure there were no other students around, she finally opened her mouth to speak. The whole thing about Rika-chan and Satoko-chan going to town to play and then disappearing, that didn't make sense for some reason. So I decided to investigate a little bit myself. Who did you ask? What did you ask them about? I asked the Ladies' Society all kinds of things. There was a lot of tofu in the miso soup yesterday, remember? The old lady from the Tomita Tofu shop came too. The Tomita Tofu shop. Oh, I remember. That was one of the stores on the road leading to the hospital. Those huge lumps of tofu dancing in the bathtub-like cistern always looked nice and refreshing. The old lady says she remembered Satoko-chan stopping by to buy tofu there on her way home from school. Tofu? Well, it's on the way home, right? How is that a clue? Just listen. Do you remember when we went to Rika-chan's house? Rena stepped away from the sinks and spread her arms wide to recreate the space of Rika-chan's room. There was a pot on her gas cooker, and there was miso soup in it. I think there was probably about half of it inside. The rest was in the refrigerator. She was looking in there. They must have been planning to make chilled tofu. It was on a plate in a plastic wrap. As Rena explained, she walked around as if she was really going through Rika-chan's room. Oh, she's like a little detective. That's cute. Still, Rena, why does this matter? Keiichi-kun, When you make miso soup, you put the tofu in last. That means that Rika-chan, or Satoko-chan, whoever was cooking, was standing there making it up until right before dinner time. Right up until dinner time? Wasn't everyone saying that their bikes weren't around, so they must have gone somewhere to play by themselves? The trash in the countertop bin was put in there really awkwardly too. Rika-chan makes most of their food and lunches, but occasionally Satoko-chan does it too. So Satoko-chan was cooking that night. So that means that Satoko, at least, didn't go somewhere to play. She was preparing dinner? Yeah. Then I took a look at the rice cooker and there was rice for two still in there. So she made dinner for both of them, but neither of them ate it. Is that it? Rena nodded. So next I looked in the fridge. There was some chilled tofu made from the other half that they bought. That's not all either. There was a whole bunch of plates with side dishes for dinner, and all of them were in plastic wrap. You usually plastic wrap things so you can have leftovers the next day. My mum does it all the time too, using them with breakfast or lunch. That's right. You use plastic wrap to save leftovers for later. So the fact that they were in the fridge means they didn't plan on eating them that night at least. Is that what it means? Ichi-kun, think a little harder. Their dinner was totally untouched and wrapped up. What do you think that means? That's weird. The dinner was untouched, but they had already prepared leftovers. Well, that means they didn't need to eat dinner anymore. So they would have gone out to eat or ordered takeout. It must have been really sudden too. If they had decided to do that beforehand, they wouldn't have made anything, but there was dinner for the two of them. That means that when Satoko-chan was making their dinner, they really thought they were going to eat it until right before they didn't. So then, the theory about the two of them going out to play and then disappearing is wrong. Yep. They disappeared after making dinner, and right before they ate it. Probably around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. What were we up to yesterday again? I can barely remember. Did we do anything? I don't remember specifics. I'm gonna have to check them. That's not the correct one. What were we doing at 7 o'clock again? It's being... shut up, me. That's, nope. Oh, God. Terrible at this. Okay. We didn't really know anything that we were doing. Between the time we went home, between about halfway through school when Rika talks to us, to about 11 PM or so when Shion called us, we have no knowledge of what went on, so we don't have that time. We don't have any indication there. Truthfully. Okay. Where would they have gone at a time like that by themselves without eating? Maybe they were interrupted? That's obviously where this is leading. Keiichi-kun, do you remember? On their fold-out table there were things like soy sauce and a chopstick holder. There might have been something like that. I didn't remember. Rena's really fucking smart. I also think it's very funny that she's very, very good at cooking and has used, like, dinner time, like, you know, scheduling and stuff and technique, you know, like, you know, leftover techniques and stuff to investigate. That's very on brand for her. The container for the soy sauce. It was empty. There wasn't even a drop left. chilled tofu wouldn't taste good without it, so I looked under their sink for the larger bottle of soy sauce they have. You sure know a lot about where they keep stuff. I've been to Rika-chan's house and cooked for them before. Rena cleared her throat, her face returning to a serious expression. Then, when I opened the cabinet, the big bottle of soy sauce wasn't there at all. It wasn't there? But what does that mean? Everything I'm going to say from here on is just Rena's idea, so please listen until the end without saying anything. Last night, Satoko was making dinner like normal. Rika-chan usually watched TV until the food was ready, so she was probably lying down watching a variety show or something. Satoko put the tofu in the miso soup, and right when dinner was about to be ready, she noticed that they were out of soy sauce. So Rika-chan, who had nothing to do, brought the big bottle of soy sauce to a neighbour's house to borrow theirs. I don't really know my neighbours that well. Would people be willing to just give her soy sauce? If this is an actual valid theory, then we need to be questioning neighbours and finding out if she made it to any of them, you know? Yeah, it's not all that uncommon in Hinamizawa. We kill for each other here. So Rika-chan rode her bike out to get some soy sauce. No matter how long Satoko-chan waited though, Rika-chan didn't come back. So then Satoko-chan called up the house where Rika-chan was going. Would Rika happen to be imposing upon you? Something like that. Then the other person must have replied with something like this. We have plenty of food here, so you should come too, Satoko-chan. Rika-chan has already eaten. I think that's how they called her out there. Satoko called Rika a few names in private and wrapped up the dinner she had made for them. He put it in the fridge so she could use it for breakfast and lunch the next day. Then Satoko got on her bike too and headed for the house where Rika-chan was. Okay, but this is already pretty strange. You don't normally make so much food that you could give it to people who suddenly arrived at your house. A veteran housewife would never normally make so much food that she could feed 2 extra people. Could it have just been a coincidence that they made too much? It's still unthinkable. Rena flatly denied me. Since Rika-chan knew that Satoko-chan had worked really hard to make dinner for them, didn't she? No matter what kind of food she was offered, she wouldn't let Satoko-chan's dinner go to waste. This was all only circumstantial evidence and Rena's guesswork. Even so, it was all extremely convincing. It was the only ray of hope we had to topple this situation bereft of clues. Then, Rena, where did Rika-chan go to get soy sauce? That was the heart of it. Would have to be somewhere where she'd be comfortable asking for soy sauce, and somewhere Satoko wouldn't think it suspicious that she'd been invited for dinner. Well, I mean, the obvious choices would be a club member's house, like Mion's place or Rena's place, or, you know, in the interest of being thorough, Keiichi's place. So who was it? Rena slowly shook her head. That's all for Rena's guesses. These are all just ideas, okay? That's just a theory. Keep them a secret from the police. What is there to hide? Even if only half of what you say is right, it should be a good clue for all this. Keiichi-kun, this all means suspecting someone from Hinamizawa. We can't suspect anyone without a really good reason. Ah. I saw a few girls coming over to rinse out their bento boxes. Rena cut the conversation short there and returned to the classroom. I stayed there alone, my body bathed in the lively voices of the cicadas. Let's think about this, in my own way. Rena had barely any information to go on, and yet she'd reasoned out that much. So there should be something that only I, who knew far more than Rena did, could deduce. I know what you mean, you know more than Rena in the sense that, yeah, you've been told that, but for a second, I forgot that you knew more, and I thought you were just like, I'm just better than Rena, I'm just built different. Ooishi-san said this last night too, but this incident was definitely occurring within Hinamizawa. Rena might not have wanted to believe it, but it's basically a given that the culprit is someone from this village. The trigger for everything was when the four of us trespassed in the forbidden storehouse. Someone saw us going in there. For the culprits, breaking the taboo was a crime punishable by death. It's probably nothing, but I do know that we couldn't find Satoko immediately during the end of the Watanagashi, but you know, I'm sure that's nothing. I'm sure that's fine. I'm not gonna worry about that. So that night, Tomitake-san and Takano-san were sacrificed. We don't know for sure that that's related to these disappearances, though. I mean, like, obviously, from the point of view of, you know, the curse, yes, but we don't know if the people who killed Tomitake and Takano are the same. The people or person who killed Tomitake and Takano are not necessarily the same people or person who have spirited away the mayor and Satoko and Rika. There were two left. Shion and myself. However, before the culprits bore their fangs on Shion and me, they went after the mayor, to whom Shion had confessed her sin. Next, they went for Rika-chan, to whom I'd confessed my sin. Then what about Satoko? Just a stray bullet? By itself, Rika-chan being sacrificed after I'd told her everything was mortifying. But Satoko, who was sacrificed for no reason, wasn't that all the more regrettable? Everything was my fault. Hey, Keiichi, buddy, you said you were going to try and think about this and solve the mystery, and now you're drowning in the despair again, man. Come on, lock him. Yes, it's probably your fault. Draw a line under it, figure out what to do. They're not dead yet. We don't know that they're dead. They could be in a basement somewhere, you know? Or the torture room. I mean, that'll be a lot to unpack if they're in the torture room, but, you know. Who would be the next to disappear? Would it be Shion and me next time? Why weren't the culprits going for Shion and me right away, though? If they had enough power to erase the mayor and Rika-chan, then why not just get rid of Shion and me? If the motive was purely, these people have seen things that they should not have seen, then logically, it should have been Shion and Keiichi who went first. Right? You could deal with the people, quote-unquote, responsible for the event through changing the lock after you have silenced everyone who knows more than they should. Shion's theory that it's all like a cruelty act to make us, like, to torture us before we finally got ourselves is interesting, but I don't know about it. Is it logical? I have this, like... And I know I'm probably falling for the sneaky schemes of the game, but I have this horrible feeling about Mion. But, like, I've been telling myself this whole time, Mion couldn't do that to her friends, right? But... there was a side to her that came out last night that was very, very concerning. And I don't know if it's just going to be something as simple as, oh, you know, a member of the Sonozakis is just, you know, doing the deed, clicking the fingers and sending out the goons, you know. I don't know if it's that simple. Furthermore, if we go off of Rena's theory, it has to be that Rika went somewhere where she kind of knew, yeah, I can go to this place and get some soy sauce. I trust these people. I mean, it's Hina Mizawa, so everyone would probably give her soy sauce. And let's not forget it's Rika, who's one of the most beloved people in the town, but Rika would prefer not to trouble someone who she's not familiar with. A lot of it to me adds up to like Rena or Mion, but I won't lie, Rena was one of my main suspicions, but it kind of becomes hard to suspect her when she then lays out a genuinely very, very competent theory, you know? At this point, I simply don't know. All I know is that I'm uneasy around people, but I don't have any full-on hunches. If they went for us, well, I wouldn't like it, but I could still tolerate it. What I couldn't forgive was them getting rid of those we confessed to. Hey, don't forget what Ooishi said last night. It's not necessarily just about that, it's also related to the changing of the lock. Now that I think of it, yesterday Shion said something alarming. She felt like someone was watching her. So then, was someone watching me as well? Stranger though, I hadn't felt anything like that until now. What do you mean, like you feel it now? Even though I'm the root cause of everything, I never once had that impression. I hope Shion's not getting the same, like, paranoia shit that we're getting. Only it's not paranoia this time, because people are fucking disappearing. Maybe that was simply because Shion was more cautious than me and I was just careless. That's another story, though. Let's get back on track. Why weren't the culprits going after Shion and me? I felt like that's the key. That's where the key to this lay. Exactly. It's so weird. It doesn't make sense. Are they trying to get us to confess? But no, though. Like... there are things that don't make sense. We have to assume that someone saw us during the festival. Probably when Keiichi flicked the light switch like a fucking boob. And again, my main thought once again then goes back to Mion. Right? I mean, like, the police probably saw us as well. And the police say they have eyewitness reports of us either being together during Watanagashi or going in. I can't remember if they saw us going in, but they might have seen us leaving. If they have eyewitness reports, then, like, someone saw us and told the police. I don't think Mion would tell the police, right? She certainly wouldn't, because it would draw more attention to the warehouse. What is the connection here? What's the connection? What's the fucking connection? I don't know. If I sort of sat down for an hour or two, laid out all my notes, and came up with a you know, like a proper investigation file, maybe I could figure it out, but quite frankly, do I want to do that? Would I rather do that, or would I rather play more of this chapter? Maybe I'll play this chapter, and if it's not been cleared up by then I'll probably start making a case file. I like doing that with mysteries. Even though, if it's anything like the first chapter, we won't necessarily get an answer. We never really found out who killed Tomitake. And what happened to Takano there. So, we just have to press on. Could it be? Was I making a big assumption that I shouldn't have been? I thought and thought, but couldn't come up with an answer. We might be making the assumption that we shouldn't have been. Is the assumption that the culprits should have gone after us too? The one thing I understood was that I was a concerned party to this case, and that I had a duty to watch over it until everything got resolved. I heard the ring of the bell declaring the end of lunch break. Would somebody else disappear tonight? If nobody else did, then I wanted them to get rid of me tonight for sure, and then put an end to all this. Shion's hysterical voice on the phone last night came to mind. They planned to murder those close to us first, make us as miserable as possible, and only then would they kill us. My Barakun, lunch break is over. Go back to the classroom. At the principal's urging, I returned to the classroom, which was quiet as the streets at night. There were a lot of parents picking up their children after school. It was just like a kindergarten. The students whose parents didn't come went home as a group. We left school with everyone else following the assigned route. Even while leaving, nobody said anything funny. They all looked like exhausted mountaineers silently marching through the mountains. As we went, one left, and then another, and in the end it was just Rena and me. I was supposed to escort Rena all the way to her house, but she declined. Will you be alright? It's not safe to go alone. It would be just as dangerous for you to go home by yourself after bringing me back, Keiichi-kun. It's still light out anyway. I'll be fine. I see. Then be careful, okay? Yeah. Huh? Isn't that a policeman? Rena pointed towards my house. There was a car stopped in front of it. God fucking damn it, no. From out of that car came Ooishi-san. He must have been waiting for my return to ambush me. Ooishi-san started walking over wearing that annoying grin. Rena, you should go. If you get involved with him, you'll be here for hours. But... well, what did the police want with you? With you? Rena's a good person. Even when I made a fuss over Rika-chan's disappearance, she never asked me why I did. She could have been suspecting me ever since then, and that would have been okay. Even so, she still hadn't asked me anything. She didn't try and pressure me into revealing the truth. I'm not the culprit. I know that. That said, I can't say I'm totally uninvolved with this incident. Rena simply listened, smiling like she always did. Even though I had insinuated I was related to the incident, she didn't look at me as though she were looking at something dirty. Tell you next time. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Get going then. Please be alive next time, Rena. Rena gave me a slight bow and trotted away, leaving me alone with Ooishi-san, who walked over.
Hello, hello. Welcome home, my Bara-san.
Hello?
Oh, it looks like your parents aren't here. Oh, my, was I in a bit of a spot?
He came all the way to my house. I could only thank my good fortune that my parents were absent. Since neither of them were around at this hour, they will probably be back late. I think Dad got called out on business. I don't think he'll be back until later.
I see. Well, that's convenient, I suppose. But we could do this without giving your parents any strange ideas.
Ooishi-san pushed my back, prompting me to walk. It seemed like he wanted me to get in the car. Are you taking me to the police station? I wasn't the culprit. I was the cause of everything. It wouldn't be weird if he wanted to investigate me. That kind of gave me a resigned feeling.
No, no, I just don't want to stand around talking. We can just talk in the car, that's all. Come now, don't be shy.
He opened the back door and urged me inside. If I got in, I wouldn't have a very easy time getting out. If I said no, however, then this man might really handcuff me and take me away. I couldn't refuse, could only accept in good grace. The inside of the car had been cooled too much by the air conditioner, and there was a rusty smell coming from the filter which must have been cleaned only rarely. I fucking dread to imagine what this guy's lungs are like.
Oh, is it too cold? I'll turn the car off.
He turned off the engine, and it suddenly became quiet, and the voices of the Higurashi with all their cool loneliness snuck inside. It sounded to me like a chorus of voices lamenting my exorbitant punishment for having harbored such foolish curiosity. For a few moments, while listening to those voices, I myself lamented the days that had been twisted and distorted since that night. Ooishi-san, as if waiting me to voluntarily begin talking, lit a cigarette and listened to the Higurashi. The silence became deafening, and I was the one who folded first. How was the investigation going?
The investigation? Of what? There have been so many. Which do you mean?
All of them.
Oh, well, all right then. They're officially secret investigations, and we're under immediate blackout, but I'll let you in on them. Then, should we start from the first incident?
The freak deaths of Tomitake-san and Takano-san on the night of the Watanagashi.
Oh, and this one, embarrassing enough. We haven't made any progress at all. First of all, Tomitake-san. Oh, there are indications on his body. There are indications on his body that he was assaulted by a group of people, but we have no explanation for him clawing out his own throat and dying.
So it's the same situation. Well, similar. He was assaulted by a group of people and clawed his own throat out. That kind of subtracts, I think, from my theory from Chapter 1 that Rena was the ringleader. Because I don't know that she would have had as much reason to... Well, I mean, there is a reason for her to ringlead. We painted more of a target on our back for the curse than ever this time, but I don't know if she necessarily knew that. But I shouldn't expect her... I shouldn't assume that people don't know anything in this fucking town. Everyone knows everything.
Well, we suspect an overdose from a stimulant or something, but we didn't detect anything.
What about Takano-san?
Oh, the same. We're in the dark. Autopsies for those who are burned to death are real tough. We believe she was doused in gasoline after she was strangled. Oh, that one falls under the Gifu Prefecture's police department. Oh, they haven't been very cooperative, even though it happened in our territory. Oh, that's not really relevant, though.
How do you know it happened in that territory? Well, I mean, I guess one would assume that the kidnapping... If they were kidnapped, it would take place in our territory, but how do you know that everything else... I don't know. So the police didn't know anything other than the fact that the victims died inexplicably.
Nonetheless, the times when the incidents occurred have generally been placed right after the festival ended. It's a bit uncertain in Takano-san's case, but the likely prospect is she was murdered about the same time as Tomitake-san and dumped in the mountains in Gifu.
Why would they bring a dead body all the way to the mountains? They should have just brought Tomitake-san out there too.
Oh my Bara-san, you're quite sharp, you know that. Of course, I do believe there is something we need to be attentive of. But there are a bunch of other suspicious things, but this is about all I can tell you at this point.
How about the mayor? Have there been any clues? Having exhausted that topic, I'd change the subject. Otherwise, he might turn the conversation on me.
We investigated his movements on the day he disappeared. We didn't find anything that could provide any clues, but I'll tell you about it anyway.
The mayor, Ichiro Kimiyoshi. Apparently he was suffering from severe hemorrhoids.
Well, people who've lived a long time have an unusual amount of pride. So the mayor hadn't been telling anyone he was going to a proctologist at a certain university hospital in Shishibone. On the day he disappeared, he had an appointment for a checkup, so he went out first thing in the morning.
Even I knew that big hospitals, like university hospitals, had a really long waiting time. Apparently people would get in line hours beforehand, even if they had an appointment.
His exam ended at 1 p.m. After that, he ate a light meal in the hospital restaurant and passed the time reading a magazine. Oh, we know this because of a receipt we found in his wallet at his house.
There was nothing suspicious at all about that.
That day, he had planned to go to a meeting in the assembly hall in the evening. He was supposed to return home with plenty of time to spare, but while he was on the train coming back, there was an accident. Well, it seems it delayed him a bit, and he only got back to his house right before the meeting was scheduled to start. His family witnessed a very hectic mayor leaving to go to the assembly hall at the shrine.
What was the meeting about? He disappeared on his way back home, right?
The three families and the essential members of the town assembly were at the meeting. We think they were discussing how to deal with the serial freak death incidents that happened again this year.
So then, on his way home, the old man, who had treated Shion like his own daughter, he was a dependable person who would encourage Shion whenever she felt pressured by anxiety. Didn't Mion say the same thing? Why have you forgotten that detail? And yeah, Shion's painful voice struck me right in the heart. When did he talk to Shion? Oh, that's weird. Huh?
Oh, what's the matter?
I was taken aback by how strange my own voice sounded. What was it just surprised me? I squeezed my head with my hands to try and drag back out what I had only realised for a split second. When did he talk to Shion? Remember, Keiichi Maibara, you just realised something. Something important. The night of Watanagashi. That was when everything started. That night, Takano-san and Tomitake-san died. The next morning, word of the incident had spread throughout Hinamizawa. They planned to talk about it during the evening meeting. The mayor, however, had an appointment at the hospital, and as planned, he went there without telling his family. He got a checkup at the hospital. He ate something. And then there was an unexpected delay on his train ride back. When he returned, the meeting was already about to start. The mayor changed clothes, got on his bicycle, and hurried to the assembly hall at the shrine as fast as he could. From when he heard about the incident on the night of the Watanagashi until when he showed up at the assembly hall, everything he was doing that day was done in secret. During that time, nobody found out that he went to the hospital alone. He ate alone. And he got on the train alone. That all meant he had absolutely no contact with anyone else. You couldn't have even called him on the phone. Okay, but what does this mean, Keiichi Maibara? Why does that matter, Keiichi Maibara? I believe in you, Keiichi. You can get there. Ah! Kei-chan, what should I do? What's wrong? Tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right? Old man Kimiyoshi, I told him everything. I told him everything. I told old man Kimiyoshi everything. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the ritual storehouse. Also that someone saw us and was out to get us. Right. What then? Old man Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled, then told me that if I was properly sorry about it, there was no way I'd be demoned away. Say. Fuck. Wait, shit, fuck. Shit. The story matches up too perfectly. Right. What if... This isn't perfect yet. I have to iron some creases out of this theory, but... What if my suspicion at the start of this call was correct, and we were talking to Mion? What if... Rika went to Mion's house for the soy sauce? What if the topic came up? Mion heard about it. That Keiichi had that Keiichi had spoken to Rika about it. What if that then caused... What if that put Rika in danger? And then, by extension, to Toko. And then afterwards, Mion, pretending to be Shion, called Keiichi to try and goad it out of him. Oh no! It makes sense in my head, kind of. It makes it weird, because... Shion's story did match up with ours near enough perfectly. To a concerning degree. Okay. That's all just a theory. The important takeaway here is that despite what Shion, quote-unquote Shion, said on the phone, there is no realistic way she could have spoken to Kimiyoshi. He was really smiling and he told me to leave it to him. Sweat burst out of my body like bullets. They became one long strand and slid down my forehead to my nose and fell. So then, what does it mean? Hey, Keiichi Maibara, no more playing dumb. When did she tell him? Shion said she learned of the incident from a phone call her father made that morning. The mayor had left the house first thing in the morning for his appointment at the hospital. He didn't tell anyone where he was going. Nobody knew about him going to the university hospital. Furthermore, his train ride back to his house was delayed by an accident. As soon as he got home, he rushed out to the assembly hall. Then the meeting at the assembly hall began, and continued until it was dark out. Then, everyone left. Nobody saw him after the meeting was over. He just disappeared. Which meant...
Maibara-san, are you alright? Or if you're too hot, I can turn on the air conditioner,
Another part of me was messing with my thoughts, demanding that I didn't think any further than that. Where is Shion? We haven't seen her face to face since the night of Watanagashi. Where is she? We know that Mion's capable of doing this act. We know that she's fully capable of acting like Shion. My head was pounding violently, and the fluids packed inside it all blended together until nothing made sense. It was just about to settle, yet it had been smashed and melted in the blink of an eye, no longer able to retain its shape.
My Bara-san? You in there?
Yeah. Oishi-san lit yet another cigarette. There was yet another cigarette butt placed in the ashtray. Was it displaying the passage of time? Had my thoughts been frozen over for that long?
I've tried to tell you everything I know. In return, feel free to tell me anything you want, my Bara-san.
My mind had become a gigantic, oozing mess. My brain felt like it had been totally minced by the blades of a blender, and I couldn't think.
Oh, now. Oh, don't clam up again. If there are any misunderstandings, I'd like to clear them up first. Oh, I don't think you're the culprit here or anything.
Oishi-san gave his best attempt at an adult smile.
I know the four of you snuck into the ritual storehouse that night. Everyone in the village heard rumors about it by the next day. That in itself means we should take you in for trespassing, but that isn't the problem. It's what was inside. What was inside that made the people who snuck in there end up as sacrifices.
There wasn't anything. As soon as I said it, I regretted confirming my presence there, but I knew it didn't matter anymore.
Was there really nothing in there? I mean, everyone who went in is being sacrificed one by one, you know. Oh, even the mayor and Rika-san, who switched the lock on the door, were sacrificed. What was inside that could have caused such terrible things to happen?
I was far too tired of keeping quiet about this. Perhaps that was Oishi-san's goal all along, but again, that didn't matter anymore. Oh my god, my body is so fucking tense. It was just a lot of torture devices that were used a long time ago. I looked around at them with everyone.
Is that really all?
That was really all.
There was nothing terrible in there that would make you keep silent. Or like a pile of psychoactive drugs. Or maybe a secret poppy workshop? Or perhaps there were mountains of Soviet or Chinese handguns. Oh, there weren't any suspicious wooden boxes or containers packed in there.
There was nothing as exaggerated as what Oishi-san was hoping for, but I felt like, in a way, there were plenty of terrible things hidden in there. From the perspective of someone who viewed the storehouse as sacred, whether or not I had seen some crazy things didn't matter in the slightest. The four of us broke the taboo. Punish us. That should have been what happened.
Well, he put in a request for a search warrant, thinking there might have been some secrets hidden in that storehouse. Oh, it's been the sabotage of the century. They said it would be an insult to religious figures and something about the right to free religion in the Constitution. Ah, jeez. Oh, that's why I really didn't have any other recourse to ask you. But to ask you, since you weren't in there.
There really was just old, rusty, dusty torture equipment. Nothing else stood out.
Then, Tomitake-san and Takano-san were only killed as punishment for having broken the taboo?
I didn't have an answer for the only part.
Oh, I suppose I won't bother hiding it anymore. You're the only one to escape harm so far. Everyone but you has disappeared, and yet you alone are safe.
Yeah. Yep. I was right to be suspicious. I really was right to be suspicious. I knew it. That phone call. I know I kind of talked myself out of it during the phone call. Because a lot of stuff was being spilled that I was like, Mion wouldn't talk about this stuff, but she would if she was acting, and that thought never fully left my head. Fuck. Fuck. She's fucking with us entirely. Oh, all the things we fucking said. god. Oh my fucking god. I mean, assuming this is true. Okay.
What's the difference between you and them that'll protect you but bring harm to the others? Well, that's what I want to know.
There was something wrong with what Ooishi-san was saying. You alone. You alone. What? Wait a second. What do you mean by you alone?
I'm saying that you alone have been left alive, right? Out of the 4 people who tiptoed into the storehouse for ritual implements, I mean.
The only one left alive? Hold on. Shion was still...
Jiro Tomitake-san and Mio Takano-san died that night, and Shion Sonozaki disappeared the next day. Only you are still safe and sound at this point. Why only you?
I'm gonna be fucking sick. You know, it was bad enough in chapter 1 when it was like people acting weird and responding to our lies, but we're being actively fucked with here. Assuming Ooishi is telling the truth about Shion going missing. But even if he's not, we're still being actively fucked with, to be fair, but... it makes sense. Combined with the thing from... the realization from earlier about Shion would not have had a chance to speak to the mayor. And the phone call being Mion in the end. It all adds up.
I'm saying that's what I want to know.
Shion disappeared? That's impossible. I unintentionally raised my voice, but I didn't care about that. Tomitake-san died. Takano-san died. And Shion disappeared? When did she disappear? What is this guy talking about?
Oh, well now. Oh, I thought you were long since aware of this.
This is the first I've heard of it. Shion disappeared... when?
Well, going back a bit, she disappeared the day after Watanagashi.
Going back a bit? Stop saying stuff I don't understand.
Well, Shion Sonozaki spends the night at relatives' houses depending on her mood on any given day, so no one thought much about not knowing where she was. She frequently takes days off from school, too. Her teacher has been pretty troubled by it.
I didn't ask about any of that. I'm asking you when Shion disappeared.
I told you it was the day after Watanagashi.
The fluids in my body all reversed direction. I lost my sense of balance and everything I could see started to warp and twist out of shape. I simply couldn't endure it. Hang on. Shion had already disappeared. Then... that night, that phone call, who was that? She called me every night. She encouraged me. We vowed that we would do our best to live on and not be erased. Yes, that should have been a phone call with Shion. Should have been a phone call with Shion.
Oh, she took breaks from class like it was nothing, and her family wouldn't listen when the school told them. So they mostly don't bother calling anymore. So it ended up taking quite a while before we realized she'd disappeared.
I felt a stabbing pain, like needles were being pushed into every pore of my body. It started on my back, and began spreading through the rest of me. When it had completely covered the surface of my skin, it began to worm its way into my stomach as well.
Don't you remember? We talked at the library the day after Watanagashi. Well, Shion-san was there then. Well, that was the last we saw of her. No one knows where she's been since.
That can't be. That day, Oishi-san had only caught me, and Shion bounded away, lying that she needed to go to work. Didn't she call me that night?
Well, her job was at a restaurant called Angel Mart, right? Well, she hasn't been there since that day. She's been completely absent ever since. Person at the restaurant couldn't get in touch with her. We was really worried.
That can't be. It can't be.
Well, it's only circumstantial evidence, but after she left us at the library, but before she made it to work, I think it's appropriate to consider her having disappeared during that time.
Right after Shion ran away without me?
It seems that you didn't know. Or maybe if it said something earlier, this would have gone more quickly. Well, now you understand, right? You're the only one left. You're the only survivor of the 4 who slipped into the ritual storehouse.
It couldn't be. It just couldn't be.
If something else happens, it would happen to you. I need you to understand that, my Bahara-san.
It can't be. It can't be. It can't be. Shion had already disappeared. That couldn't be. It couldn't be. I talked to her the day before yesterday. I talked to her last night. She was going to call me again today. That was Shion on the phone. Shion on the phone. It was from Shion. From Shion.
Well, Shion has long since disappeared. Next will be you.
Then, who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights? Who was on the phone those past nights? That... It can't be. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god. I can't chalk this one up to paranoia. Because there's so many moving pieces to it. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god. I laid down on the couch and stayed there, dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. There was a note in my house saying that Mum and Dad would be home late and that I should have some ramen or something for dinner. Really, parentals, like... There are people actively going missing in town and you're like, hey Kate, we're off out for a while. Really? Both of you? I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just stared blankly at the ceiling without eating anything. The hands of the clock were already pointing at 10, but I get another phone call like that today. Even though Shion had already disappeared, would she still call me? Where were they calling from? And who were they? You have not figured that out? Like, come on. No, you know what? No. I get it, man. This is incomprehensible. The logical answer is not going to reach you yet, you know? Like, but... But man, there really is only one answer, right? The more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I had been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Hold on, Keiichi Maibara. Oishi-san admitted it himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot? Couldn't she have just gone to relatives that Oishi-san didn't know about and have been there ever since? That doesn't explain the manager over at Angel Mart being concerned, though, does it? It doesn't explain that at all. You're coping! Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody. So it wouldn't be strange to think she went somewhere she usually didn't in order to hide. That must have been why Oishi-san couldn't locate her, and why he labelled her a disappearance. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Then, my right hand moved of its own volition and slapped me on the cheek. Its cold sting let me calm down a little. Okay. Don't just convince yourself of the most convenient possibility, Keiichi Maibara. I knew I didn't want to admit she had disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying... sorry. My throat's closing up with fear. I'm allergic to psychological horror. I'm not allergic. I'm not allergic to psychological horror. That's why I got OMORI and Higurashi on this fucking channel. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was on the phone or not. The one on the phone or not. Would I ask her if she was actually Shion? That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do. Still, don't run from this, Keiichi. If the person on the other end still believed I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage. Casually, completely casually, I would listen to what she had to say, and fend her off. I would tear the skin off the monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as the last survivor of the people who went into the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. How do you know that you're getting a phone call tonight, man? If you're the last survivor, who the fuck else, man? Who the fuck else is going... I mean, theoretically, Sonozaki might still be yet to go... But no! We've already... I mean, Shion's gone missing. She's not the head of a place, you know? She's not the head of the family, but that is... All three of the big three families have had someone go missing. All of the people who trespassed dead, apart from you. There's nobody else, Keiichi, right? Like, this is it. Tonight has to be it, right? Still, then who would call me and pretend to be Shion? I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. That was definitely Shion's voice. It sounded just like her. It could have only been Shion. There was someone, though, wasn't there? Someone who sounded just like Shion. Mion. Who else could have done this? At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Like being questioned about sneaking into the ritual storehouse and how she shook the ladder while spouting curses. Who else could have... Why though? Why would Mion... I thought back to the things about the Sonozaki family that I had heard from Oishi-san and Shion. Mion was always entangled in the incidents, in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. You know what would be truly, truly wild? This would be fucking wild. This is the level to which my paranoia has reached. I'm going to say this to you right now. We know that Shion has disappeared. But how do we know that Shion has disappeared? Huh? What if? I promise you, I'm fine right now, but what if? What if Mion is the one who went missing? Imagine if Shion had done something to Mion, took her place. And this was all Shion. Could you imagine that? We need to see whether there is or isn't a scar on her head. That's the key to this. We know that one of the Sonozakis is fucking with us. But Mion... If Mion were involved in this, she wouldn't. I refuse to believe she would target Satoko and Rika. Don't forget that, as far as we know, both Mion and Shion both expressed like a fondness for the mayor. So would Mion really? Oh, I don't know. Let's think about the phone call that we had. Okay, right. We need to think about this fucking a lot right now. It's the one fly in the soup of my theory at the time that Mion was disguising herself as Shion on the phone, was that whoever we were speaking to started talking so much shit about Mion. Talking about how, like, and the Sonozakis as a whole. She talks so much shit about the Sonozakis as a whole. Mion wouldn't do that. Even putting aside that whether she would or wouldn't target the people who have disappeared or not, Mion would not talk shit about the Sonozakis. Shion might. What if Shion... Oh. I'm locking it in. Until we receive further information, yes, a Sonozaki has gone missing, but it's Shion who is still here. Shion has gone missing because she has disguised herself as Mion, which begs the question, where's Mion? Quote-unquote Mion last night even started, like, talking quite madly about the curse, that Satoko was a curse, and how Satoshi went away and Satoko was ungrateful. And we got the feeling that Shion cared about Satoshi a lot. It's fucking Shion, isn't it? She's the one. It's her. Okay, I'm locking it in. I'm locking the theory in. If we get any other fucking clues, then I'll change course and admit I was wrong. But Shion's disguising as Mion. That's my hunch. That's the key. That's the connection. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. Right. Okay. I thought back to the things about the Sonozaki family that I had heard from Ooishi-san and Shion. Mion was always entangled in the incident, in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. Courage. Give me the courage. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know it will ring tonight. It would be so easy to run away. That, though, would be the same as making it easy for them to erase me. It's true, if you tried to run away, you'd have been running into the fucking night, wouldn't you? I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. I was sure Shion would use tricky words to try and trap me. Be careful. Be careful. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. Okay. I knew it was coming and it still fucking scared the shit out of me. At that point, it rang. The phone rang. And I didn't know where the call was coming from. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today, she had been calling me like nothing happened. Now again, tonight, the people that had disappeared, their corpses simply haven't been found. I really didn't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, did that mean she was calling me from another world? Of course that couldn't be. A living being was calling me, pretending to be Shion. Shion was long gone, and yet, as though she were alive and well, the phone continued its incessant ringing. I didn't want to pick it up if I didn't have to. I had just concluded, though, that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. Then what would I do after I answered it? Would I immediately declare she wasn't Shion and ask who she was? Hey, if my theory is correct, that it is Shion, technically. Alternately, would I pretend I was still fooled and try and grab her by the tail? That would probably be the safest thing to do. Because the problem is, if it is Shion, and we try and get her with the only Shion will know this, she's gonna get it correct. Because she is Shion. What I was most afraid of was what the person on the phone would do when she realised I knew she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? If I just make sure to be careful, that should be the safest option. I've made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time, though. I'd scope her out. Who was she? What was she thinking? And what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Tomitake-san and Takano-san? Can you imagine having to stop at that exact point because of guests arriving in the house? Can you imagine having to stop playing the game at that point? I've been hearing this phone ring in my head all day. And now we've got to finally fucking take it on. Let's do it. Come on. Let's psych ourselves up. I'm terrified. Was she really the one who killed Tomitake? I'm going to need a refresher. One moment. Right, yeah. We're in doubt because we think that whoever this is going to be the one who killed everyone. And we're like, what do we do? Because, you know, if we reveal that we've caught onto this little sneaky scheme, then that's going to put us in severe danger. So yeah, was she really the one who killed Tomitake-san and Takano-san? What happened to the mayor? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? I reached out for the receiver, my arm trembling. There were too many things I wanted to know. Too many things I wanted to ask. I was scared. I should start by picking up the phone. Pick it up, Keiichi. Pick it up, Keiichi. Oh, fucking hell, I'm glad that phone ain't ringing anymore. Hello? Oh, how relieved I would have been if it hadn't been a call from Shion. Ah, Kei-chan? It's me. It's Shion. My momentary, convenient, and above all fleeting prediction was ripped into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't help shaking at this point. This is going to, you're going to have a masterclass in acting and, like, finding some invisible sweet spot in terms of responding to this call in a way that does not arouse any form of suspicion. You just got to do it. You just got to try. But I fear it's impossible, especially if my theory that this is actually Shion is true. That adds a whole additional layer of hell to this hell. I couldn't help shaking at this point. Get ready for this. You took a long time to pick up. I thought you weren't home and I was about to hang up. Sorry. I was just in the bath. Did your family not pick up for you? But your parents be out right now, Kei-chan? Hmm. Yeah, fuck. I mean, fuck, I don't know. I failed. I let her in on a fatal piece of information. That I was currently the only one at my house. Shit, let's bring the mic closer for this, actually. Come on. Come on. Well, no, they're not really. Anyway, have you heard about Rika-chan and Satoko? Now, what happened after that? Were they found? Nah, they weren't found. Kei-chan, please don't lose hope. If Ooishi-san hadn't let me know, then I might have allowed myself to shed a tear or two at Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that it had come to this, I couldn't take her words at face value. This person on the other end of the receiver, the more perfect to Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear. Oh, this sucks. I hate my theory because it's the worst fucking case scenario for Keiichi. This Shion is going to be a perfect fucking replica of Shion because it is Shion. Rika-chan and Satoko. They were kidnapped, weren't they? Yes. I don't think there's much doubt. Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold? Their weight astonished me. And then a moment later, I was overcome with a numbness and felt like I would pass out. I had asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Shion, in turn, had answered that there wasn't much doubt. That cruel meaning behind her words. Rika-chan and Satoko were... No, I mean, I'm sorry. About the mayor. What do you think happened after he was kidnapped? Keiichi, I'm not going to judge you for this, because I would suck at this too, but you're not doing a very good job of acting inconspicuous. This is so conspicuous. Do you think he's still alive? What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped? That's what I wanted to ask, but I frantically caught myself. What if she had given that question? A terrifying response, in such a way to sound like it had nothing to do with her. I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayor. That said, however... He fucking interrupts me with a horrifying fucking revelation. However much I talked about the mayor, I think he was killed. Hey, wait. That was quick. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Do you have some sort of a reason as to why you might think that? I think it must be really hard to kidnap someone and keep them like they are. As long as they're not hostages, it would be most practical to kill them once you were done with them. The world started to bend so much I almost lost my balance. The scenery in my eyes whirled around and around like the hands of a clock, and tried to swallow me whole from below. I frantically put a hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later, a severe nausea welled up within me. How was she saying such things so lightly? I don't think we can necessarily see it over the phone, but I think she might have the scary eyes. Kill them so readily. Oh, this song's called Fascism. Fun. I mean, what's a human life or two anyway? It's a horrible thing, but I think that's probably what happened. If the mayor was killed, Then did that mean the same had happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? No, that couldn't... They weren't some random old man. It was Rika-chan. It was Satoko. They couldn't kill them so readily. It's probably better to think that Rika-chan and Satoko-chan ended up the same way. Yeah... Jesus Christ. This is a fucking change in tone, isn't it? Like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Those were the words I wanted to hear the least, and I fought them back with a scream of my own, even though it wouldn't change anything. Still, I couldn't help but scream. This time, the tears flowed. I'd been confronted with the most horrific outcome that I've been trying to avoid considering ever since last night. And I cried. There was no longer any doubt that it was my fault. I killed them. I killed Rika-chan and Satoko. I succumbed to the weakness of my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. That's why they were killed. That meant I killed them. When Rika-chan looked at me with those innocent eyes, if only I hadn't given in. Even my voice gave out, and yet still, I cried. And cried. Kei-chan, please, just try and calm down. Rika-chan and Satoko, they've been killed. We couldn't even find their remains. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. If that was to be my punishment, then how brutal a punishment it was. I think Shion tried to comfort me, but I didn't hear any of it. What are you going to gain by doing that? They're definitely going to target you and me next. Please, I'm asking you, get a hold of yourself. Please. Please. Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate the sound of that voice more and more. This Shion killed them. I had no doubts that this person killed them. Why? 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 Why kidnap someone and then kill them? Screw curses! Are people's lives really that cheap? Erasing them and killing them without a second thought like this? You're right. You're absolutely right. It would take a demon. I felt like crushing the receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? There was magma in the pits of my stomach, and I felt like it was going to erupt at any moment. Hey, you know what, Keiichi? Fuck it. Make a terrible choice right now. This is as low as we can get. Just fucking lay the cards out on the table. Say you know. Hey, Shion. Please tell me. Why did Hina Mizawa start needing someone to die on the night of Watanagashi? That's what I'd like to know. The fighting over the dam project is already over and done with. Haven't enough people been cursed already? Why is it? Why? If there's a reason, then say it now. I was incoherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam inside of me, rushing forth, and I couldn't stop them. These were not simple questions. This was an interrogation. Shion herself hadn't realized it yet. It was just too funny. It was so funny that I couldn't stop crying. I understand how you feel, Kei-chan. I really do. The dam wars ended a long time ago. Yet, murders and disappearances keep happening every year under the guise of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Why? Why is it happening? Some of them have nothing to do with this, and some of them don't deserve to be cursed, so why? Why? That's what I'm asking you. I want to know that as much as anyone. Both our ragged breaths could be heard over the phone. Listen. Oyashiro-sama's curse never existed. It's too unrealistic. Just like you said, someone in the village is using the grand name of Oyashiro-sama's curse as a justification for continuing these murders and disappearances every Watanagashi. They were cunning. They've been using the curse as a convenient tool and made a system where they could get rid of 2 enemies in the village every year. In this year, that system killed Takano-san and Tomitake-san. Then why wasn't that enough? Why did the mayor and Rika-chan and Satoko have to get killed too? I don't give a shit about the past. The only thing I care about is why Rika-chan and Satoko needed to be killed. Why is that? I didn't say a word to Satoko, you know. Why even her? Why? A silence fell between us. Shion didn't answer for a while. Kei-chan, please, stop being mean. A sob. Was Shion crying? I don't have any idea what's going on either. Everything changed when we went into the ritual storehouse that night. It was the same for me. As I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation subsiding. When I heard that Takano-san and Tomitake-san had been killed that night, I doubted my ears. Then, I realized it instantly. I realized what sort of a position I was in now. 4 of us snuck in there. Kei-chan, you and I won't be so conveniently forgiven. When I thought about that, it made my chest so tight. It was so terrifying. You know that feeling, Kei-chan, don't you? There was nothing fake about her words. She'd even understood how I felt. Yeah? Okay, I guess. That's why I confessed everything to old man Kimiyoshi. You're lying now. All of us entered the forbidden storehouse. It was just a little bit of fun. We knew we shouldn't have done it. But it really had just been for fun. It was only a bit of exploration, that was all. Takano-san and Tomitake-san, who went in with us, were killed shortly after. They met such miserable ends. Since that day, I've been living in fear of when I would be attacked. There was nobody except old man Kimiyoshi who would help me, so I asked him to save me. Old man Kimiyoshi. He wasn't mad. He smiled and said, if you're really sorry, Shion-chan, then you'd never be demoned away. He really did smile at me, and told me to leave it to him. Shion cried bitterly, recalling the beloved mayor's death. It was such a sad voice, that none who heard it could prevent it from twisting their hearts. Again, Did I let my emotions take over and go off at her? Shion was in the same situation as me. She should have been my one and only comrade. But it's an impossibility, Keiichi. You can't forget that. Bump. My heart pounded. My other self, deep within my mind, whispered to me, "Don't forget, Keiichi Maibara. Don't forget about the mayor on the morning after Watanagashi. He was told of Takano-san and Tomitake-san's deaths over the phone and committed to a meeting that evening. He went to a hospital appointment. He didn't tell his family. He only made it back just in time for the meeting. He went straight to the assembly hall. That's what Ooishi-san said." When? Did you let the mayor know? Yes! Keiichi, this is exactly the question I wanted you to ask. I'm so happy we're on the fucking same page, man. Huh? I'm sorry, Shion. It must seem like I'm kicking you while you're down, but... Shion, you told him, right? You told old man Kimiyoshi, the mayor. Yes? When did you let him know? I'd begun to get scared of saying it aloud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying it was contradictory, though. Besides, if there was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me. Did you know that the mayor had a severe case of hemorrhoids and had gone to the hospital for treatment? Kei-chan? What does that have to... Please, answer me. If you didn't know, then just say so. There was a momentary silence. Then, after stammering a few times, she replied, I knew that he had hemorrhoids. This fucking sad music playing with the hemorrhoids reveal, okay. It looked like sitting down was really hard for him. He was going to the hospital. You know which hospital, right? I'm sorry, I don't know that much, but... Kei-chan, what does that have to do with... Shion didn't know what hospital the mayor went to. That meant it was impossible for her to have gone all the way to the hospital to confess everything. Since she didn't know his destination, then she obviously couldn't have seen him on the train either. If there was any other chance for her to contact him, it would have been after he came to Hinamizawa. The train, however, had been delayed, and he only got back right before the meeting was about to start. He didn't have time. There wouldn't have been enough time for him to listen to Shion spill the beans. I want to ask you straight. Shion, when did you tell the mayor about everything? When and where? Your answer doesn't have to be precise, but please give me one. Kei-chan, why are you asking that? Her sob pierced into my ears. I was taken by the illusion that I was bullying her. Even so, I'll say it. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. Please prove to me that you're the real Shion. It was impossible. The day the mayor disappeared, from dawn until he vanished, there was no opportunity for you to contact him. That's... The mayor left first thing in the morning for his examination at the university hospital all by himself without telling anyone. Shion, you just said you don't know what hospital he went to. So you couldn't have contacted the mayor until he got back. Isn't that right? His train back was delayed by an accident, and he didn't return to his house until the meeting was about to start. So there was no time for you to have told him before the meeting started either. I heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. It was so painful for me to say it. Shion, did you go to the meeting too? Did you attend it and tell him there? If you didn't, then there wouldn't have been any time left. The mayor disappeared on his way home. Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? The question was so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response. Actually, with the meeting, You didn't even go to the part-time job you said you went to that day. I'll say it more directly. You haven't been seen since we were at the library together. Kei-chan, well... Shion Sonozaki disappeared the day after Watanagashi. I would have played a bit dumber than this, but you know what, Keiichi, I told you to make a bad decision. So let's do it. I'm with you, buddy, let's do it. The other end fell silent as the grave. It was so quiet that it was like the phone cord had been cut. I couldn't sense anyone there. Ooishi-san says you've been missing. Despite that, you've been calling me every night like this, haven't you? Shion's sobs were torturing me. Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything wrong. Please, Shion. If something I said was wrong, please say so. Shion, I'm begging you. Shion, there's no way you could have seen the mayor, but if you did see him, if Shion ever did have the chance to meet with the mayor on that day, then that meant that you saw him after the meeting. Oh, God, man. That's a lot. In other words, it could only have been right before he disappeared, or else afterward. What the fuck is going on? Beep. Beep. Went the dial tone. I have to hear the delivery on that. I have to hear the delivery on that. Holy fucking shit. Holy shit. Oh, she's doing fine. She just, she was watching The Simpsons at the same time, and she saw a really funny joke. Wait, shit. This was set before The Simpsons came out. And nothing was that funny before The Simpsons. Oh, God. There might be. Oh, no. I stood there dazed for a while until I realized she had hung up on me. Shion Sonozaki is rapidly approaching your location. Oh, and that's where we end it. Okay. I won't be playing anymore today. I just needed to finish this chapter up. But, oh, God. Oh, my God. Scrapbook note 11. And something about a... Oh. Tough call. Yeah, that was a tough call. Alright, from the scrapbook 11, let's do this. Let's get our info and then go. Preferably somewhere safe. No. The problem with twins. This is not limited to just Hinamizawa, but in Onigafuchi village especially, the three families detested giving birth to twins as successors. The long-term dictatorship built on the precarious balance of the three families must have feared collapsing under the weight of internal strife from things like family quarrels. According to the literature, if twins were born, then they had to be culled. With that, the very fact that both the Sonozaki family successor, Mion Sonozaki, and her twin, Shion, are alive in itself is deeply interesting. Perhaps the current leader, Oryu, is sympathetic. Of course, the twins were not cared for equally, and as the heir, Mion received special treatment. It certainly would help me to understand why Shion is the way she might be. Certainly helps me to understand why she kind of thrives on attention, for sure. And it certainly helps me to understand why she might pretend to be Mion and fuck with the entire fucking Three Families system. Fuck, she's been so screwed over by this system. Like, she is in such a dreadful fucking situation. From what I've heard, despite the two of them looking exactly the same on the outside, the talent lies solely with Mion. My own observations of the two of them don't leave me with that impression. Yeah, so, Takano is like, yeah, I've sort of spoken to both Mion and Shion, and they've both got talent to them. Tradition dictates that the leader of the Sonozaki family is said to inherit a demon, and they tattoo a magnificent one onto their back. In accordance with the tradition, there is an extremely high possibility that Mion has such a tattoo on her back. There's another fucking way we can distinguish the two. That Keiichi doesn't know about. From what I've heard, there is apparently a magnificent demon tattooed on Oryu's back as well. Then, I wonder what sort of tattoo belongs to the heir, Mion. I really want to see her back. That's going to be important as well as the scar. Okay, here's a bit of a wildcard at the Suzu Mahjong Parlor. Reserved for the day, Suzu Mahjong Parlor. Batter clack. Hey, Akura-chan, you're the last one here. All the youngsters are here already.
Nah, excuse me, miss.
Ooishi handed over a convenience store bag with a carton of cigarettes in it to the old lady who borrowed the mahjong parlor, and she shrewdly made herself scarce. She was used to this by now. Ooishi-san, good work today.
What? Were you all earnestly waiting for me? Oh, you could have just done free player.
Everyone sitting at the mahjong table in the small parlor where Ooishi's subordinate... Everyone sitting at the mahjong tables in the small parlor were Ooishi's subordinates, but there were no tiles laid out anywhere.
Everyone, I'd like to thank you for your days of investigation without sleep.
Thank you. Energetic responses filled the parlor. Already it had lost the atmosphere of a place of entertainment.
The situation is not looking good. The chief appears to have backed down due to Congressman Sonozaki's threats. In the coming days, we'll hand off Takano's murder to the Gifu police, and give the missing persons case of the disappearance of the mayor and the others to the community division.
That damn upstart chief. The veterans in the room cursed him.
All of our requests for warrants were turned down as well. I've even been told by our section chief not to go anywhere near the Sonozaki house. We're certainly in a bind, that we are. Incidentally, it looks like I'll be getting orders soon to go training at the Metropolitan Police Department starting next week. After that, I've even been told to take a paid vacation in Izu. Well, I suppose that ain't bad.
He heard a few dry laughs. There wasn't anything to laugh about, but that's all he could do.
This always happens. Oh, but incidents are a lot like locking your keys in the car. Or the keys you need to unlock the door are always inside. For cars, you call the repairman and they'll pry open your door. For incidents, Kuma-chan, show the map.
Kuma guy flipped over the whiteboard. On the back was a map of the Sonozaki premises made with magnets.
Now, I've been doing this job for a long time. I've got a lot of faith in my gut, but this could be the one time it goes wrong, no? Anyone worried about their retirement money has till the count of 10 to get out of here.
Ooishi began to count to 10, and everyone counted along with him. It was their famous 10-count resolution.
9, 10. Oh, no one's leaving. Oh, none of you love your families too much, is that it?
Well, they're laughing. Everyone laughed uproariously, cheering things up.
I want everyone to go over their materials. Memorize the locations and blind spots of all the security cameras. Kuma-chan, you'll stand by in the command car. If something happens, you'll switch with me and take over. Komiyama-kun will head up Infiltration Team A. Atsushi-kun will lead Team B. Observation teams will set up at points 1 through 8. Mochi-kun, you're responsible for keeping a strict timetable. Control your rotations so HQ don't get wise. Now, the team on standby has the most important job, alright? If the section chief asks where I am, play dumb. I'll handle escorting our guest. You can be sure I'll bring him to the venue, so wait patiently, everyone.
Wonder if he'll cave. Keiichi Maibara, that is. Oh, God, no. You're really dragging... What is it with you and endangering teenagers, man?
From what I've seen, we're set for tomorrow or the day after in that regard. It'll be easy.
Oh, I don't know, man. You don't know the developments that have just occurred. Yep. Everything's coming up shit. And we've read all the tips. Now there's no going back. I remember when we read all the tips in the first fucking chapter and it's like, oh, it's just unfiltered hell from now on. So that's something to look forward to. Oh, man.